Than you think. Imagine for a moment. Bring it home to anything.
Yo, what's good, big boy? What's good? What's good?
What's up, man? What's good?
Yeah, let's get to it. It's your boy Furious, aka POW, prisoner of war. My co-host, Big Boy, BB225. Yeah, let's get it. Can you be pro-black and they outside your race? First, I want to talk about. I like to do a little segue into it. First, I want to talk about. Do blacks have allies? The good brother Tariq Nasheed did a show on that. Do blacks have allies? You think blacks have allies, big boy?
Not at this point. We can't. We gotta focus on ourselves first before we try to ally with anyone. So we can get ourselves together as a group and get our foundation strong. I don't think it'll be good for us to be trying to ally with anyone. And we could break it down and go deeper into it. It gives some examples of things of that nature. Um, but nah, I don't think we need any right now, brother. What about you?
We need allies within the Black America. Even melanated people, not even just foundational Black Americans, but we need allies with foundational Black Americans, and we need allies with melanated people, African diaspora, because we need resources. We don't have the luxury of only saying, okay, we only want resources from this. Uh, we need resources, man. That's what we need.
Yeah, I agree with you
Let's see.
100.
I'm gonna play something real quick.
Us moving as a unit more than we were. Not, it's plain to see that we're divided at this point. So now us one unification, I think that which I think on a small scale. I'm seeing that with FBA and things of that nature. I see we coming around. I just think we could do a lot better as far as unifying with each other. Um, so then I won't. In that saying, people are gonna be more quick to hop on board and say, yes, we need to get with our American brothers and sisters. Because I do agree with what you're saying. We do need allyship with resources with other groups, melanated groups, particular Africa being one. All the resources they have, but we're divided. I do get what you're saying, my brother. I get what you're saying. Okay, let me share this. There's some people in here with us, man.
Scrambling. Family, do y'all know y'all make these people lose sleep? Do y'all know how rough y'all are on the tendons? Just because you are looking at your own lineage, the tethers feel like they've been stabbed in the back. The tethers stay crying online all day. They just have marathon spaces where they cry all day about foundational Black Americans. These folks are having nervous damn breakdowns. And we're just saying, hey, handle your business. Just do you, brother. I mean, hey, do you. If we're Okadas, okay, we'll be that. Then you go ahead and do you. Wait, nigga. No, wait, niggas. No, you can't leave. Just the fact that we're telling people we ain't putting the cape on for you no more, they've lost their minds. So this shows you who was doing all of the fighting and who was doing all of the standing on business. That's been us doing that. That's been us taking it in our own hands, saying, hey, this is what the lineage is going to be. It's been us saying, hey, this is what the history is going to be. Going back to the Hidden Colors thing. See, that was a power move where we didn't wait on the dominant society. See, I'm all about us moving in ways and utilizing the power we had. When we did the Hidden Colors thing, I kept telling people, look, we need to start getting stuff done on our own where we ain't going to the dominant society. The reason I did Hidden Colors was because Hollywood kept making these real derogatory movies about Black history, or these period pieces that were horrible. As far as the premise, you had movies like The Help and these Black maids being denigrated by the white bosses. You had 12 Years a Slave. Then you had these modern movies like Precious, The Blind Side, The Butler. Just all of these movies showed us in these real weird subservient positions. And everybody was like, well, we need a balance. We need Oprah to do a movie. We need Tyler Perry. They start naming all these people, but understand, it was Oprah and Tyler Perry. They had them quote unquote executive produce Precious, which they just really put their faces and names on it because that movie was so derogatory. They needed some Black faces on the production side. But everybody was saying, hey, we need something that shows us in a positive light. Damn, we need something. I said, okay, well, damn it, we need to do it ourselves. And we need to do it outside of the Hollywood system because we can't get the resources from them, because if they give you the resources, they're going to dictate what's going to be said, and it's going to be some BS because I work with Hollywood, so I already know how they get down. So we got to do this independently. So at the time, Kickstarter was a thing, crowdfunding, that was brand new. It was a brand new thing. I said, hey, look, let's do this. They got this thing called Kickstarter. Let's raise a few dollars. If you guys can raise 20,000, I'll match it 20,000, and we'll get this thing done. And we got 300 donations, 300 contributions. Those 300 people, and if you're in here, if you're one of the people, what's up, the good adult?
Can you hear me now? I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. What's that?
Hey, how you feeling, man? Merry Christmas to you. Hopefully you and your family doing well for the holidays, bro. I had a question concerning around this Fat Joe circumstance. I know you fully understand what's transpired the last maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks now. And I have a question for you. I've been following it very, very closely, Tariq. And the question seems to me that this is not specific to Fat Joe, but just from a broader perspective. The question that I have comes down to the idea of how much respect is due to your allies. I'm a foundational Black American, full supporter of the work you're doing with FBA and so forth. But I'm curious to know what you feel or what your perspective is on as it pertains to allies. How much respect are our allies due?
Which allies?
It doesn't matter. I'm saying, let me rephrase the question then. Do you agree with me that foundational Black Americans do have allies?
No, we don't. We really,
so to
be honest, we don't. We ain't really got no allies. We got people who will stand next to us so they can get something. We don't really have no allies like that, brother. We got to be.
So
who are our allies? I want you to tell me who you think our allies are.
Fair enough. So I'm talking about non-foundational Black Americans, those from other tribes and races and so forth. From a historical standpoint, you very well know this very much as I do. Throughout the civil rights movement, there were whites who were allies to us that did work, that placed forth effort, that marched alongside of us, and did and offered some, not full support, but some support in ways and shapes and forms that were beneficial to the movement collectively.
Hold on.
Always have.
Don't miss out on big savings at Kohl's during our end of season event. Save up to 50% on must-haves for home, kids.
Slow down. You have white folks who do that now. You have white people. You have a protest, and they'll go show up to the protest. White people will show up to the protest. Not all of them, because you had some Amish people who were honorable. They helped with the Underground Railroad. But a lot of the white abolitionists, many of them were like, hey, look at these downtrodden Black people who are enslaved. Send me money so I can advocate to help them. It was that type of
Correct. I agree. So the individual you just referenced, you point to the Amish. Okay, so there is a segment. How much respect would that Amish brother be due for his allyship support of Black liberation?
Yeah, we give him the same respect he gives us. You know, they do a little. We give them a little respect. We give them the same. Sometimes we kind of go overboard and we are loyal to a fault. When the person is no longer an ally, they become an enemy. Just like, look, with the Asian community. We looked at them as allies when they came over. Because some Black Panthers.
Shoot. Damn, I just
Hey, POW.
Yo.
Look like 40's having a field day in the back there.
Yo.
Look like 40's having a
What's going on back there?
Oh, nothing. I just shared to talk. He's being sarcastic.
Yeah, why are the wings forever? No. Dr. Uma, your expressions and phrases will soon get into the dictionary. No burning crisis. Yeah, why are the wings forever? No bunnies never. So tell us, what that is for those who don't know.
Yes.
Snow bunny crisis.
The snow bunny crisis relates to the tendency for black men in European societies to pursue white women as their mates at a rate that exceeds what any man of any other color does with regard to interracial dating. Black men love white women, and it's because of racial inferiority. It's because I need validation. It's because I've been brainwashed to look at my own woman as being less than. It's because I want my children to look like my oppressor in order for me to feel like a man. So it is a psychological sickness born of post-traumatic slavery disease and post-traumatic colonization disorder. And it is destroying and eroding the foundation of the traditional black family all across the world.
So does it mean that you're still against anti-racial marriage?
Absolutely. I do not support it. I'm not against the white woman or the red woman or the brown woman or the yellow woman. Human being, I will respect you. But the family is the most essential institution of the black community. You lose that, you lose everything. In America, only 1 out of every 4 black women will get married. It's not much better in the UK or Paris or Canada or South Africa, you see. So if I want to save black people, I got to save the black family. Moreover, marriage is an economic alliance. Women on average outlive men. So if I marry a snow bunny, she's not going to take any of my wealth, any of my estate, any of my savings and bring it to Guadalupe and build a school for black children. Kobe Bryant was a billionaire. He left all that money to a Latino woman. She's not going to bring any of that money back to Philadelphia to help out children. Marvelous Marvin Hagler, the former middleweight boxing champion, he died as a result of the COVID vaccination. A white woman inherited his estate. She's not going to take any of that money to a black community. And that's why I look at interracial dating and marriage as a form of financial betrayal and economic sabotage.
So if a brother comes to you and tells you, you know what, Dr. Uma, love doesn't have complexion, love doesn't have color.
And I'm going to say, you are a coon. Get your ass up out of my face. You know.
Umar dropping the facts, huh?
That boy ain't told no lie. See, we need somebody up here. We need a challenger up here, man.
You want me to send Brolic a message? A link?
Yeah. Why not?
Let me send him the link. Um, you might have to send me the link.
I just sent the link.
All right.
This that conversation we supposed to get real talk.
Oh, trust me, Brolic's gonna come through.
Think you can.
Huh?
Rollick said that you can.
Yeah. And since if he the only 1%, we gonna let him cook, even though he more long-winded than a national disaster.
You know,
You know? Hit Malik up.
Malik. All right.
Look at the picture, big boy. Yeah.
I'm gonna hit Malik up right quick. He in Brooklyn. Brooklyn's in the house.
Black Masterminds Podcast. We're just getting this together, family. We got y'all.
Yeah, this test run, man. Trying to get things up and smooth. Get it all okay. I see it. Yeah, let's go.
This one too.
Text me what you be using for your artwork. Shout out to whoever that is in the audience. I can't tell who it is. What up, though? Let us know who you are. Leave a comment. I just asked what up in the chat. Oh, Oscar. What's up? Oscar back chilling with us, man. Oscar says it's a double edge. Oscar says it's double edge. You date out your race, then how can you pro it? How could you pro it? Whatever makes you happy should be the reason you make your choice instead of pleasing. But definitely be proud of who you are. But if you want to be pro something, you gotta stick to it. That's it. That's it, Oscar. If you want to be pro something, you gotta stick to what your obligation is. I agree. I agree, Oscar. sir. Go try to get some people in here, guys. Hopefully we will be able to.
Shout out to the 3 listeners.
I got jungle fever. Who got jungle fever, man? Let's see who got jungle fever. Who got jungle fever?
Ain't nothing wrong with loving on the Karen or Becky, big boy. What you talking about?
Huh?
Ain't nothing wrong with loving on the Karen or Becky. What you talking about? Hmm?
I know. Do you?
Love is love, man.
Yeah.
He said, yeah. He said, yeah.
Your brother
Love
said,
is love.
Help who you love, huh?
Yeah. What do the listeners think?
So if you can't help who you love, you could just so happen to fall in love with a man, huh? If you
I don't
can't
know
help,
what you, I don't know what you talking about. I don't know.
hey, people say you can't help who you love. So hey, if a love spell just happened to fall on you and it's another man, you can't help it, huh?
I don't know what you talking about.
Right?
Flag on the play.
You know,
Yeah.
it don't mean the same when it comes to that dynamic.
Hell no. Oh, hell to the no.
No, huh?
that hell to the no.
And love is love, bro. You can't help who you love, man. Love is love, bro.
what Brolic say?
I haven't got a response yet. Got a response yet. Guess you're gonna have to see the message first.
Did you see if he seen him live? I mean, in a room?
I don't think so. Who that is?
What's going on, man? It's Brian.
What's up, brother?
How you doing, brother? What's going on in here?
What's up? What's up?
What's going on? Yo, Dub, what's up, brother?
What's up?
That's
What's up,
Brolic.
man?
What's up?
What's up, Alex?
Yeah, it's Bradley.
My brother out of Chi-Town.
Yes, sir. The new
Shout
platform.
out in the building. Tell the people a little bit about yourself, man.
To the wife, we said hello first.
Oh, the wife is actually I got her upstairs with the mother-in-law. She's watching Bluey with the boy. I saw your message. I came down to see what was going on. What's going on, chat? They call me Bradley. I'm new to stereo. But, Brother Big Boy just sent me an invite. I didn't know what I'm getting into, but yeah, I'm from Chicago. I'm in logistics. I do freight. Sell freight from all over the place, all over the world. I drive trucks when I can to get away. Otherwise, I'm on here for like trying to listen to some good topics, trying to have my input. You may or may not see that we got the pin African flag there. I'm a product of Black Panthers. Trying to raise my family the right way. I'm married, been married going on 15 years. January 5th coming up. So yeah. I'm enjoying my Saturday. Excuse the beard. I haven't shaved in a while. I haven't had to look at people, or nobody's had to look at me for a while. So, but otherwise, yeah, that's me for the most part.
It's all good.
How's everybody else doing?
Great, man. You're part of our family, man.
Great, man. Great.
Absolutely, brother. Appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. The wife gonna come down soon. We were hoping you had a show tonight. I was up almost 5 o'clock this morning from last night.
Oh, really? Oh, you stayed on when we left?
Yeah, I stayed on. Helen Tudor came up for a little bit.
Okay.
Well, we had a few other people come up.
That should have been an interview. You and Helen Tudor. I might go check it out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Helen Tudor. I was trying to see if he can drop some knowledge for me because, I'm on a journey as well when it comes to this app and many other apps. I'm really working on my interpersonal communication. You know what I mean? I'm trying to be more effective. I'm trying to step it up. And I asked Helen Tudor for a little advice. And I guess I probably shouldn't have asked him to mentor me. And I think that's what he took it on as. And I guess that's where the disconnect came from. So
he's going to expect you to be a clean talker now.
Oh, absolutely.
Not a problem with that or issue with that. He's right technically in what he's saying. For us being a clean talker, I have no issue with what he's saying.
I agree.
I woke up this morning laughing, man. Porter and I were talking, man, and that conversation last night with Sports Rumble was funny, man.
Oh, yeah.
You was trying to be nice and gracious with him and riding with him until we tell him, I forgot to tell you about the POW. So, Sports Rumble, how he get out. He knows black community better than we do.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked him for example of someone that's pro-black that's married to someone white, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
he said Candace Parker, something like that.
He told Broderick, he said, "I got this, Broderick. Let me handle it." Like he knew who some pro-black. Guess who he spewed out? He said Tatum and Candace Owens. Well, I'll laugh. Broderick said, "Hold up, sports. I can't support you on that one, brother."
He was wilding. Yeah.
That was hilarious, man.
He gonna raise black children, because he got black in his heart, apparently,
Yeah, we was having a conversation. Even though I don't agree with your perspective, I wouldn't, I don't want to not have respect for your perspective.
What is his perspective? Let's ask him.
Yeah,
so he can break it down.
Explain, but how you feel about being pro-black?
The topic. Yeah.
Race.
It's a hard narrative to. It's hard to have that narrative a lot of times, but I think it's possible you could do it. I think a lot of times, I'm not speaking myself personally, but I'm seeing a lot of places in our spaces when they're there for our cause, and I see a lot of interracial people who come from interracial relationships, or causes of interracial interactions, we'll say. And a lot of that might lead them down the path of being more pro-black based on wherever situation they might be in. The idea of reality in this country is that all you got to do is be brown paper bag, brown to actually have the full, almost a full experience as being black. So I do believe that if you come from an interracial family, you're probably more likely to continue interracially dating, which means that you're more likely to date outside of your race or your race group. So I do feel like it does happen, and you can see it in some cases. I don't know if I can give you a perfect example right now, honestly, because I haven't thought about it that strongly or even thought about it in depthly. But I think it's a possibility that you could be pro-black and have a white wife, I guess, or Asian wife or Latin wife, I guess. I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of examples of it, unless you were talking about like entertainers, and that's pretty common. That's par for the course as far as entertainers go. But I don't know how pro-black you would say entertainers are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't use entertainers as an example.
Mm.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't use entertainers as an example. They are the last people that we should be representing. I be asking myself, like, dang, what is wrong? Why every time black men get money, they go run to Karen to Becky? Like, listen, I got me a black beautiful wife. I love her dearly. But I remember when I was in the dating game, and I was courting women, and I was going through my little trials and tribulations. And okay, yeah, I get it. It was a little, it was a struggle in certain places and friction I had to overcome, and it's a lot. It's a lot you got to deal with in the dating game when you are a young black man, right? I get it, but why are there so many black men that got money and they go to the Karen and Becky? Like, what's going? Is it something wrong with our women bralettes?
I don't think that's the case.
Is it hold on. Is it something wrong with our women, or is it social engineering? Is it something deeper, like brainwashing?
Yeah, maybe. Especially when you get that money. And then speak about when you have money, a lot of people get that money and leave the hood. So they are not around black people as much to reinforce their blackness in a lot of cases. So they might get comfortable hanging out with a Becky or two, hanging out and then dating them. I don't know. I would say access, maybe. I'll say access, maybe be the first reason, maybe why. I don't know. But otherwise, I didn't really come into money. I came in money with my wife. So, and I remember dating, and I didn't have no money then. I was working on myself. And dating for me was more important to like find the one I want to be with. You know what I mean? So, I wasn't shooting my shot at every woman. I was shooting my shot at the ones I wanted to actually date for a reason. I'm actually marrying them. So I've been in 3 relationships total, and all black. And I don't know another path for me outside of that. I think maybe if your goal is to be promiscuous and sleep with a lot of women, you might end up with a white woman, because a black woman may not want you if you've been all over the place. You know what I mean? So that might be another thing too. So it might be the culture of that too. What you think?
Big boy, you there?
Yes, yes, sir.
You got something to add to it or rebut, challenge, whatever?
I'll hop in a second. Give me a second. Bear with me.
Oh yeah, man. Take your time. I got you, bro.
So what would I don't know, could you imagine your life single right now with $40 million in the bank and what your life would look like? That's interesting. You know what I mean? What would that look like? Would I still have as many black people I have around me now? I absolutely have my family. You know what I mean? It's definitely been my family. But could I be in Chicago? You know what I mean? In what part of Chicago could I be in? Could I be on the south side where I'm at
Yeah,
still?
but yeah, I hear what you're saying, brothers. People that got money, they got resources to go into places where good black women will be, right? So if I got 5 million in the bank or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
I can find places in America where there would be some caliber, quality black women of all types of walks of life and from different parts of the world and different stories,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's a choice. It's a choice that people make, whether they got money, whether they got 5 million in their bank account or whether they got 5 cents in their bank account. You make a choice to stay in certain places and to just, okay, I'm in this area. Let me just mess with the girls in this area. Or
Mm-hmm.
should I use my resources if I have them and go other places where black women might be? Or should I say, scratch all that? Scratch black women, scratch all that. I'm gonna go get me a white woman because I got the money and I'm in places. And let's be honest, if I got money, I'm in places where there's a lot of good looking white women, right? But at the end of the day, you're still making a choice.
Yeah, you're still making a choice. And you making the conscious choice to also be in their space too, for that purpose too. So it's two decisions, not just one, it's two. It's the choice of seeking them. Just because you may want to date one, don't mean that they're going to be around. So you have to find yourself to be in those spaces, right? So it's not like, I don't know, you like to think that people, you're going to love who you're going to love. I think that is a personal decision to seek white women out purposely. That is an absolute decision. I even heard some black men say that they do it on purpose. They purposely seek out white women. That's, I heard brothers say a lot of things, man, and try to justify it, but it don't make it right. You know what I mean? So I was lucky, man. I had good examples. I saw what a family looked like. I had my father. I had my uncle. My mother's aunt was around. My godmother was around. I got to know my grandmother for a little bit. You know what I mean? Apparently, she taught me Portuguese before I learned English, and I didn't even know that. And I thought that was pretty interesting. So yeah, there's a lot of interesting things like in our household where I got to see great examples of what black love looked like. You know what I mean? So, and I would even say, even when I went to the suburbs, it was even easy to seek out black people because when you are not in your comfort zone, you seek out people that make you feel comfortable. And typically that was people who look like me. So I don't know. I think that's, like you said, it's a decision. It's a multiple decisions are being made at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel that. You got any sons, brother? You on mute, bro?
I got one beautiful son. One beautiful son. He will be 12, February. He's my pride and joy. I put literally everything I can into that boy. He's gonna be something, whether he wants to be or not. So he's making his own path. He's doing animation, which I'm very proud of. Is his own goal he's taken himself upon. He wanted to do YouTube, but I kind of told him to chill out with that because I don't want him on social media like that too early. But he's fiending for the YouTube. He wants to be on YouTube. He wants to be a personality so bad. Outside of that, my wife is a ex-journalist, so she gives him that spirit. And she teaches at the local school, and we got our son going to the local school that she teaches at. So, you know what I mean? So we're actually worried about that because he's gonna be in high school soon, and my wife is thinking about not teaching no more. So, so she don't want to go to high school, and I don't blame her.
So will you raise your son to will you push him towards like, hey, the black woman is queen. I want me some nice little I want me some beautiful black grandkids that look just like me? Or will you go on the side of, hey, look, love is love. Whatever my son bring back, I'm still gonna love him. And there's no wrong answer. There's no wrong answer in this question. There's no like, hey man,
Exactly.
Why do you say that?
I'm curious. He's starting to like girls. From what I've heard from his friends, I don't know if he has a preference, but the two girls that I've known that he's like black girls. I think he likes his one very fair-skinned girl right now, but I don't know. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like, I'm not really promoting that at this moment because I want him to know himself before he even thinks he could start dating, you know what I mean? And liking and looking for their attention. I want him to know himself. I want him to have some pride. I want him to know God and, you know what I mean? All those things before he starts entering those. But once he knows those things, who he brings back, in my personal opinion, based on who I know him as, it will be someone who probably he's really, really into and spent a lot of time and invested emotionally in. And that could be, I would assume, would look like somebody in our family, but I wouldn't be surprised if he brought somebody back different. I don't know. This era will do a lot of things. He's exposed to a lot of things, so I don't know. That's interesting. I never thought about it, but my mother never really had conversations about me about that either. But I never brought a white girl home, so.
You got anything to add to that, big boy?
Yeah, I don't think I could. I just don't think I can make that decision for him.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you could just instill in them the value system that you hope that they will have. We can hope. They stick to those values. Teach them the importance of a black woman and how she deserves a black man's provision and protection. And once we do that, I mean, when they get a certain age, they're gonna have to make that decision for themselves. We can't force it on them. So it's not really much you could say. It's just say I'm gonna create a foundation that's gonna be, hopefully, that's gonna produce have him to have a desire to be with another sister, a beautiful. But if that's not the case, then it's beyond us at that point. So I don't think it's anything could be done at that point.
This might sound a little sexist, but I think that might be more of a conversation you have with your daughter, or like you might want to consciously think, if you do have a daughter, to be a perfect example of the type of man that she would possibly seek. Not to say that she would be seeking out people who look or act like, but people who are respectful. I feel like that would be the more narratives to have is with the daughter, to see that the men that she's choosing hopefully reflect a better reflection of the type of family you created or lived in. You know what I mean? So I think that's more of the conversation I might have in my household versus August, because he's been. I mean, we're pretty hard on him. You know what I mean. We expect a lot of him. He's got a lot of responsibility, and we're training him to become a young man, and that's, what we're trying to do, instill those type of things. Like, he's up in the same time I'm up. You know what I mean? When I'm outside working, he's outside working. Um, he's got stuff to do every day. There's none something he doesn't get to sit around and chill. You know what I mean? Just because he's on winter break. So that's the type of stuff we do. We keep him busy. You know what I mean? So I like to think he's like a country city boy. You know what I mean? He may live in a city, but he worked like a country boy. You know what I mean? We sweat every day. Sweat every day.
I was in it now because I was multitasking. I know we had a conversation and that criteria you have, brother, of someone black being able to be one with somebody outside of being black is still, to me, I don't understand that concept. And someone wrote in the comments earlier to be pro anything dedicated to art, right? It just doesn't logically make sense to say that I'm pro black, but yet and still I go and become one with something other than myself, right?
Mhm.
Now that don't necessarily mean that we have black people that don't do great things and contribute to the black community, really, really love their people. But if you're gonna label yourself as pro-black, pro means that you choose that black over everything. You want a black family, a black community. You want a black everything. So I understand people who feel that you could be pro-black but be married to someone outside your race. Look at that picture right there.
I saw it.
His obligation to that snowflake right there.
Mhm.
And I remember you said last night you can't help who you love.
Yeah.
And
You want to believe those things. So, you really want to believe those things.
well, but you hear people say love is love. You can't help who you love and things of that. But yet still, when I go and I say, well, you're gonna say that, well, if you can't help who you love, could you control and help love falling in love with another man?
See, that's nah. That's different. You know what I mean? That's different. That's different. That's different. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Because that's
love,
that's a different pursuit. You know what I mean? Outside of love. You know what I mean? So
huh?
that's a way different pursuit outside of love, in my eyes. You know what I mean? But
Love is just gonna when love hit you. When that love spell hits you, you just gonna you ain't gonna be able to control it. And my reason for saying that we all control who we choose to love, man. Even though we make mistakes and stuff. And my wife, I always say this: uh, everything you do, you still have to realize you make a choice, right? So we do a lot of things we regret, a lot of things that we do a lot of things that we say, oh, well, it just happened. I don't know how it happened. It just happened like that. But we still, at the end of the day, had to make a choice. You feel me?
hmm
I take it up on myself to indulge with anybody outside a foundational Black American. Then that's a choice that I'm making. Or, outside of being Black, right? If I choose to be a white woman, it had to cross my mind to say, you know what? Even though she white, or I'm gonna give a white girl a try. Or, I feel as a Black man, anybody who decides to deal with a white woman is cross their mind before they go into those waters. They saying, "Oh man, she white. Shit, I'm gonna fuck. Excuse me. I forgot we on YouTube. Shucks, I'm gonna deal with this white woman. I'm gonna get this white woman to try or something of that nature." So at the end of the day, we know the choice we making when we step out here.
Yeah.
Pass.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Those are the decisions that a lot of men make.
Up to the Black family, the Black race, then you're gonna first start by dedicating yourself to a Black woman. My family is going to be a nuclear black family. I'm gonna have a black wife with black children. Hopefully, raising them in a healthy black community. That's what I think we should be striving for and looking toward. Come off of mute, brother.
It starts with the nuclear family that starts with the first example. You know what I mean? It also helps that if you got a good generation or something like that already coexists. You know what I mean? Like our grandmothers, our great grandmothers are examples of how those nuclear families can continually coexist through tradition. And those traditions are literally easily brought or like passed down to your family. You know what I mean? So that's why I said I don't know if I may not have to worry about that. He's got a lot of reinforcement of what a nuclear family looks like. You know what I mean? And the ideal family looks like. So I don't know if he would choose my son, for example, if he would ever choose outside of his race. I don't know that. You know what I mean? I know from what I know now, his first two picks are black women or young black girls. So I don't know. So from what I hear, but he's not allowed to date. So at all, he's not allowed to start dating. You got to get that school first. You know what I mean? Showing responsibility itself, and before I could even, you know what I mean? And I just don't think right now is even a good time to even talk about him bringing someone home unless he was like 16, 17, maybe dances and stuff like that. I don't know. You know, it would be very interesting. This is preparing me for that day if that day comes. So I'm quite intrigued of that question for sure. But I was always told, you know, you let the kids love who they're supposed to love, and things will figure themselves out at the end of the day. But you just got to make sure that, in my personal opinion, is that who they loving is loving them back equally the way that you would accept them. You know what I mean? Expect them to. So that's all I got. You know, and that's the reason why I said, hey, even when I talked to you about Sports Rumble, you know, apparently he got two black kids. I didn't know if they his kids or another person or from another relationship. But I said, if you're gonna raise these kids as your own, you know, when it come down to them being black, you know what I mean, as a white man.
Do you think a white woman could love a black man the way a black woman can?
A white woman love a black man the same way or more?
He love a black man the way a woman could.
It would be, I don't know. That's the main reason why me and my wife get along so well is because, you know what I mean, we don't have to tiptoe around these things. You know, what's black is black, and we know that we don't. You know what I mean? I could understand that that'd be a hard dynamic to always have when race was an issue in the household. That would be not very fun to deal with. I'm gonna go mute.
Stereo, or you want me to do it? Yeah.
Hold on one second. I'll be right back. Hold on. I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, let me try to get 1 second.
Hey, did you tell Malik?
Yeah, I'm sending the messages now. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, for some reason it didn't say add on stage. I don't know what he. I don't know if there's something wrong with his name or something. But it told me to edit his name before he get up here. So tell him
Did you
try
edit it?
again. Huh?
Did you edit it?
No, I pressed X instead of editing it because I didn't know what was happening. Maybe I should have just changed his name to I don't know. Maybe maybe StreamYard got a problem with Malik. With the name Malik.
Let me find the banned already.
Yeah.
Malik
like,
banned, man. Find out Malik cutting up like that, bro. Come on, Malik.
yeah.
Come on.
Only options it gave me was, do I want to edit his name, add him on? I mean, edit his name, kick him, or ban him.
I just to try coming back in on YouTube so they can add you to the panel.
No, baby, come back in on StreamYard. Did he
Yeah,
respond?
stream.
Is that okay?
Tell him to try coming back in on StreamYard.
So I asked you.
All right, I'm back. I can get something to drink.
Oh man, we want to get him on the stage, man. Malik got to be on stage, not
Yeah, that's theater right there.
Oh, you get Malik up here. Oh, did you send him an invite?
yeah.
Yeah, for some reason he wouldn't. They wouldn't let him come up here.
Steve, I hope you're still in the audience. I could agree that FBI may have a lot to do with the music industry, but for you to say FBI runs FBA, for number one, FBA is nothing the FBI can have anything to do. Why are people getting the assumption that FBA has to do with being an organization?
Yeah,
FBA simply means that you're a foundation of Black American.
that part.
That's all, man. I don't know where y'all get this mix up about.
Because you know where it comes from. Anytime you start associating yourself, they're going to make it sound militant. They're going to say that we are a new group of people with an ideology of something. You know how they're going to do it. You know it's coming down the pipe already. It's already coming down the pipe.
Especially with your boy Fat Joe. He set the fire on it. He said the FBA are radical.
Yeah, he said they're radicals. Yeah, that's not my boy. Not my boy. Not my boy.
All right, Malik coming back up here.
All right.
Now it say edit his name, kick from studio, or ban from studio. So I'm gonna go to edit his name. Malik, I'm about to change your name to member 3. I don't know if that's gonna help, but for some reason,
Is there like a room limit? Is there a room limit?
no, it's supposed to be 10 people supposed to get up here. It still won't let me bring him up. I don't know what's going on.
The fact that you edited his name is still in
Oh, hold on. You know what? Tell him try one more time. I get it. I gotta go back in the studio.
Let me try one more time.
Let me stop up there.
Tried to get Mike in here.
Yeah, that's all gone. That's all cool, man. So I hope you pull. There was only over 80 wings up there. You should have had more than enough.
Should have called Mike 6.
All right, here we go. I got him.
Hey.
Brooklyn's in the house.
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt. Peace, peace, peace.
Peace,
Peace,
King.
brother. Peace. Malik, what's going on?
Ain't
Good to see
nothing.
you.
What's up with y'all?
I think it might have been your reception, Malik. It might have been your reception, man. But what's good though?
Maintaining.
You had been in the chat on YouTube, Malik.
I got an echo. I'm not sure what that's about.
Everybody might have to mute while one person is talking. Were you in the chat when we were earlier in the live chat on YouTube?
Oh no, I wasn't in there.
Okay, I was just checking. Well, what's up with you, man? We just getting y'all acclimated. We just running test runs and stuff over on the YouTube streets and on StreamYard, getting familiar with StreamYard, things of that nature. What's up?
Ain't nothing, man. Ain't nothing. What made y'all decide to come to YouTube?
We just came over here for a few to see what's up. Look, I know I've asked you this probably 1,000 times, but what's your view on the nuclear? I mean, do you think somebody could be pro-black and date someone outside their race?
Yeah, I think it's possible. I don't think that should be the only qualification to be pro-black. I could say that, there have been historically people that were black that dated outside of their race, and they were married or dated outside of their race. Harry Belafonte, Sidney Poitier, they married white women, but they did tremendous things for the culture and for black people. You know what I'm saying? Those are just things that I have on top of my head.
So what would be your personal definition of what pro-black means?
You are for the advancement of black people in every sector of life.
So that means, so in that case, were you saying someone white could be pro-black?
I think you can. I think John Brown was pro-black. I think you can make an argument about that. Some abolitionists, so white abolitionists, I can say they were pro-black.
Yeah, I will have to heavily disagree with that. I think you could. I think you could be black. I think you could be white and do great things, make great contributions to the black community, to the black cause. But I think you only could be. You have to be black in order to be pro-black. If you ask me, I'm about to look up what's of being pro something.
Are you saying? I mean, we could say that white people have been anti-black, right? Can we say that some people are can be pro-black? It's kind of like some people are pro-choice. Now, do you have to be a woman to be pro-choice, or baby to be pro-choice?
So what does pro white look like? Give me an example. What does pro white look like from a black perspective? How can I be pro white today?
Well, I don't know what it is to be pro-white. I probably would stay away from that as far as I can.
But you're using it in the same example though. But you're using it in correlation though. So you got to tell me.
I said pro-choice. I didn't say pro-white.
But still, give me an example though.
Being a neo-Nazi, being a Klan member, I could say they're pro-white.
So a black person can be pro-white.
Sure.
So, when you done
We got black men who out here that support white culture, like 100%. You know, not, you know, what was Candace like? I don't know if she necessarily white culture or anything, but she talked to them all the time. I don't know. A lot of people now put Republicans in that same category, so I don't know.
Let me ask this question: how does that look to because to be pro-black it means you support something, right?
Mm-hmm.
What does that look like being married to? Say I'm pro-black and I support the black community, but being married to someone white. How does that look like? So how am I showing that I support black marriage by being married to someone outside of being black? That's what I'm trying to understand.
I don't know. There's a lot of instances where you can say our white counterparts would be also pro-black and only date and only have been within the black culture because it's the only one they've known, because they've been in and around black people their whole lives. I know some white folks like that, and they would definitely be considered pro-black.
But you're talking about the micro though.
What I'm
talking about small majority.
Yeah, but I'm also speaking from you won't get that everywhere. You know what I mean? From like a city. Yeah, for sure not.
I'm saying as a black man that's saying that I'm black, I'm pro-black, right?
Yeah.
I support black marriage, but I'm married to someone white. Is that not hypocritical to you?
I mean, to a lot of people, it's that way. But I feel, I don't know.
I'm sorry.
No, you good,
Brother Alex. It's been argued and claimed that Dr. King had infidelities, committed adultery with white women while he was on the road, right? But can I say Dr. King because he had some affairs with white women that he's not pro-black?
You can't prove that, Malik.
Oh, fair enough. Because it could all have been misinformation from the FBI trying to divide the movement.
See?
All that.
You smart enough to know it was, and that's why you referenced the FBI. Because come on, Malik, you smart enough to know that it probably was from the FBI.
I was just giving I was just trying to give a scenario. You know what I mean? If this is the case, can we say that Dr. King wasn't pro-black because he may have allegedly slept with some white women?
I don't know. That's a very slippery. That's a weird slippery slope, though.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's a weird slippery slope because you want me to do a hypothetical on a hypothetical of something that I don't even believe happened.
Yeah. Okay. It's hard to answer those questions. Those are the hardest ones to answer because it's like I don't know how to answer that one, though. You know what I mean?
So then the two examples I gave, Harry Belafonte and Sidney Poitier, can we say that they weren't pro-black?
I mean,
I would say, hold on. I would say that I don't believe that it's just about that. It's just pro-black in the dynamic of this stuff. It's also black-minded. Are you conscious-minded? Right now, Harry Belafonte, they are conscious. They are black conscious-minded. Right now, they ain't pro-black. Now, I can't say that they pro-black because they married to white women, but I can say that these brothers are not asleep and dumb to ignorant to what's going on with between black and white people historically and present day.
So I would just need your definition of what pro-black is. And it seems like, well, let me first get your definition of what pro-black is.
make it real simple. I'm gonna try to put it in a couple of words, the smallest words possible. A person that sacrifices and put black people first and try to do everything they can to strengthen and strengthen the black community and the black race. But yes.
Sounds like Harry Belafonte and Sidney Poitier to me.
But
No, because they married white women. I can't call them pro-black because they married. Now I can say they conscious. I can say they not asleep. They not ignorant.
So then that would be like
they don't have a white mind. I can say, and I think that's a compliment. They don't necessarily have a European mind. They don't have a European mind, right?
Right, but according to the definition I just heard from you, I think they fit the criteria, unless you want to put special caveats on the definition that you gave, because I don't think any and we're just using our idea what pro-black looks like to us. I don't think any textbook definition would say you have to marry in your race.
Now they wouldn't, but I mean, if we just be realistic, we know in a society that we live in, it's going to be some kind of European input in some way. But my definition of being pro-black would be putting black first when it comes to everything. What I mean by everything, when it comes to family, when it comes to community, when it comes to everything, putting black first. So what I mean by that is being married to a black woman, having black children, and building a black community. That's what being pro-black to me. That comes first before anything. Not saying that I don't love diversity, because I think diversity is key. But first, the foundation have to be set, and I would want to create a black. And what is a black foundation to me is not me being married to a white woman or an Asian woman. Me creating a black foundation would be me being married to a black woman, having black children, having a black family. Now, that doesn't mean someone that doesn't see, people think it's all about being pro-black. I think you could be just as effective, or maybe even more effective, not being pro-black. Well, when I say that, I mean like get great things done. So Harry Belafonte, Sidney Poitier, people like that, with me, they're not pro-black, but they are very pivotal and very productive to blacks in the progression of blacks in their time. What they added to the black community, it was very much needed, very much appreciated, very much accepted, and they will always be a part of the black community. Because you're not pro-black doesn't mean you're not a part of the black community. You just didn't to be everything.
So
I was looking at it like for the simple fact that those two examples are entertainers. You know.
One second. So what I'm saying is, not being pro-black just simply mean outside of having a black put in a black community first. Say for someone that's married to someone that's married to someone black, and say, well, hey, I don't believe in pouring in or lifting up the black community first. I believe in lifting up all people. Well, they wouldn't be considered pro-black to me. If you're pro-black, I'm gonna be concerned about what's happening with my community first, my people. You understand what
do you feel that white people can be pro-black, or Hispanic people?
Could they what?
Could white people or Hispanic people be pro-black?
Not pro. I think
No.
they could be black-minded. I think they could be black-minded.
So
not pro-black.
Okay,
they
so
can never be. You have to be black to be pro-black to me.
That's a niche definition that you come up with, because for the simple fact, I'm gonna put white people to the side. I'm gonna say Hispanic people. Carlos Cooks, was a Pan Africanist, and he ran with Marcus Garvey, and he was I want to say he was Dominican. So can we? Are you going to say Carlos Cooks wasn't pro-black?
Well,
Dominicans
you
look
know,
black
I'm
though.
gonna say
Hold
He
Carlos
denied it.
Cooks was a. I'm gonna say Carlos Cooks was an outlier,
Mm.
well,
anomaly,
was
interception. That's what I'm gonna say.
hold on.
Okay.
Was
I'm trying to say agree with that.
Because you know, me being an Israelite, if
Mhm.
he's a part of the 12 tribes, he's a part. I would consider him being able to be pro-black because he's a part of the 12 tribes, right?
Okay.
Not unless he's just a full Spaniard like Fat Joe is.
Carlos Cooks was Dominican. You can look him up.
He's Dominican. He probably look black too.
Just as the same as us, though.
Mhm.
Me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just feel like we're kind of boxing ourselves in if we have this cookie cutter definition of what pro-black should look like. I mean, because I think it could be argued that, by others who are in the field, they may say you're pro-black isn't they're pro-black, and you're probably, not the standard. You know what I mean? If I'm being an Israelite, you automatically, depending on what camp you are, you're automatically pro-Hispanic, pro-Native American. So you could probably say you're pro-black, but then you'll do things with the American Indian movement, or you'll do something with the Young Lords for the Hispanics. You know what I'm saying? So it's not necessarily you're just focusing on the needs of black people. You're focusing on you're finding you're associating yourself with other people of color movements.
On YouTube.
What'd you say, Brother Alex? Oh.
No, my fault. My wife just came downstairs.
Okay. Did that make sense?
No, I hear you, brother.
Let me ask a question. Say this brother that has a white wife and they have children. Can he raise a household to be pro-black even with a white wife in the household and with black children? I think so too. I think it could be done.
What's your question, brother?
Can you be pro-black with a white wife and black children or mixed children, or you know what I mean? Especially if your children are pretty, I guess, dark at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Even if they weren't dark, could you still teach them to have a pro-black household? Wasn't Sean
No.
King? No?
Hell to the no.
No? I'm just curious.
Hold on, I'm doing something real quick. I'm gonna play a video in a second. Give me a second.
To answer your question, Brother Alex. Okay. To answer your question, Brother Alex, I think I've seen it. Jesse Lee Peterson. Is that his name? Not Jesse Lee Peterson. Jesse, the brother that was in the ER. Is that his name? Jesse. His name's Jesse something.
You talking about Jesse Williams?
Jesse Williams. There we go. He's very fair-skinned brother, has a white mother, but he does a lot for black people. So like
He got a
your
black
question.
wife, don't he?
Yeah, but we're talking about his mother, right?
Mm-hmm. I was thinking
No.
what's his name? Sean King? Is that what it
is? See, Jesse Williams. Jesse Williams, he's pro-black.
I think he might just be fair-skinned though. I don't know.
Hold on, I gotta go back.
He's to me, he will be considered black, and he's married to a black woman. That's just like
Sean King went to Morehouse too.
Farrakhan dedicated, and he chose to be with have black children and raise a black family. I mean, just the way I see it, you know.
I guess I
It's
was
like
just. I guess I was trying to answer Brother Alex's question about a man having a white woman, and can he raise his children to be pro-black? And then I came up with Jesse Williams. You know.
Well, I would think anyone with common sense that raise a mixed child, that child is going to know there is something outside of just being black in them. And a lot of times, most people want their child to be balanced. So you will have to introduce them to both.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
And I think that's what I said for raising. What's going on with my
A
brother?
Mexican black man?
Light skinned black man.
Oh, okay. So you black. Okay. Never mind.
Do y'all think this might be off topic? Do y'all think Drake's child or Patrick Mahomes' child should be considered black? Patrick Mahomes' children?
Well, you know what I'm going to say. The fact that Patrick Mahomes is black, that makes Patrick Mahomes black, and therefore
Malik, you changing? Hold on,
Yeah,
big boy.
I
Malik,
did. I
They-
no, I
They're
no,
black
I
men.
admit
They're
it.
black men.
I
changing the
admit,
argument.
no, I admitted that this is a different topic. So that's why I was just asking what you thought.
he
No,
did.
that's they own their blackness. They can be, to me.
Mm. Even as fair as they are.
I mean, there's lots of fair skinned brothers. That's the reason why I was trying to see if brother was biracial or not. But he his father was very fair skinned. Apparently so.
Mm.
All right. And he went to Morehouse. What my example was. I don't know about that.
Yeah. Skin complexion.
Okay.
Not the times we living in. We can't base anything on skin complexion,
Uh,
right? But you,
I'd rather base it on how you act, on your mouth. That's kind of tell you what side you're on, I guess, in most cases.
but you don't see the dangers in that. Like, say for instance, I'm a firm believer that what's in you, who you are innately, some point in your mouth. How secure will we be as a people where if we just, because people show up, and I think that's what's been the problem for so everything that we've done, even with the Black Party itself, which is one of the main ones. The biggest problem I think we've had is allowing others to be part of the healing process, and we let people that come sit at our table that I don't think should be at our table. So because people could always give the portray or say that, hey, I'm right side by side with you guys. I support you guys. I'm for you guys. But at the end of the day, at any point that could change because they are not by nature us. And that happens a lot. So my thing is, I think we've been bit. We've been what you guys advocating, what you're saying that we should do, base it on these things, on these that have hurt us all throughout history. This trust that we have for others. So we got to create a foundation of blacks where we could rely on us, trust in, believe in us, and build that up. And once that's built and strong, then we could even consider. But it's too easy to infiltrate by allowing, allies, it doesn't matter what your race are. If they say they for us or they contribute to our progression, that they're us. It's not the case, man. Even with John Brown, somebody I admire and look up to, and he died behind what he did for us. But at the end of the day, man, he still was a white guy. And at any time, all that he at the end of the day, man, he was white, bro. And I think we always got to keep that in mind, man.
I think I think when it comes to John Brown's case or any other white person's case, the fact that they are willing to discard their privilege uh to take up black causes, I think it's very noble because it's easy for them to just fall in line and accept, you know what I'm saying, their position in life. But if they notice that, you know, there are inequalities and they're willing to fight against it, I think that's a moral position to have.
Have you always noticed people like we're speaking? They always that want to come in, have say. They always and we always find it line that they wind up being in charge. They wind up being the face of whatever movement that we have going. And that's why I said, because have you ever thought strategically that, oh, okay, I'm going to dedicate myself to this group of people, but by me doing so, what that's going to allow, my power is going to come from these people believing in me. And that's a tendency that what happens is, in a time of white man that show any type of loyalty, they get this overwhelming amount of power because black people are so black people put so much faith, trust, and belief in that white person, and they rise quick to leadership positions, leadership roles, and it always wind up not working out in our best interest. None of them are going to play the back burner and say, hey, I'm going to be the usher. I'm going to be the one that stand at the door and just make sure this happens. Most of the time, all of these white allies we're talking about, leaders, they come up, they become a part of the movement, and they're in leadership position. Look historic.
I think they would. I think then. I would love to hear examples, but I would like to say that we have to stand on our square and make sure they understand that they are guests in this movement, and that doesn't necessarily mean that we won't take ideas or contributions or donations, but this is a black movement. You are a guest in this, and we will move how we feel is the best way to go about things. I think it's crazy. That would be crazy to look at. Like, for instance, I don't think it was always in the NAACP. For instance, I don't think it was Jews were in there, but they didn't necessarily always try to play the forefront in it. They gave funding and they raised money and stuff like that. But it was for the most part black heads that played the forefront in the movement. You know what I mean?
You don't think that they had faith, Malik? You don't think that even though they might have had a black face in front, that they literally really were in control? That's no different than when Obama was president. Obama was black face, but who really was in control? Who really was pulling the strings?
Are you saying that the NAACP that had just white people pulling the strings and black people were just there playing a face card?
Yes, I'm saying that. Yes, he's saying that.
So you know that's not necessarily accurate, right? I mean, if you look into the history of the NAACP, that's not necessarily accurate.
When we look at the top chairman positions with the NAACP, were they all black?
No, they were black ones, and they were they black and Jewish people. They funded it together.
So do you have any say?
Yes. Look, for instance, W.E.B. Du Bois, he was a founding member. You saying that that W.E.B. Du Bois was just a
he was Boule.
Yeah.
I respect W.E.B. Du Bois. You know, I'm not trying to disrespect him, but he was also Boule. He also pandered to the elite, just like
he did.
Lamont
Hills and Roland Martins.
That hurts.
But we gotta be honest. Brother was a coon.
Who was a coon? W.E.B. Du Bois?
Yes.
I have a critique of W.B. Du Bois, but what my point is that okay. So for instance, so for instance, Ida B. Wells was also a founding member. We all know who Ida B. Wells is, right?
Hey Malik, we're right quick. I said cutthroated. Our brother from Jamaica, he cutthroated Marcus Garvey. That's why I said it.
Yeah, absolutely. He snitched on Marcus Garvey, absolutely. But later on in life, before his death, W.B. Du Bois, he moved to Ghana and he started to take on a lot of Garvey's points.
Yeah.
But I mean, but that's like the Booker T. Washington W.E.B. Du Bois argument, like or the Malcolm and Martin argument. Sometimes people disagree, but what I'm trying to say is that Ida B. Wells and W.E.B. Du Bois were founding members of the NAACP. Are you saying that they were just figureheads?
No, they were found. They were found. Yeah, they were assets.
Okay.
I won't disagree with that. Yeah. You been on them stereo streets, huh, Malik?
I was up there a little earlier. Yeah.
What it's looking like out there?
I don't follow everybody. I think I saw Joyce is still on. Other than that, she got a panel, and other than that, I haven't really looked at anything else.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
And once we get everything up and running, we're gonna get her over here. She probably won't come though.
Man, that'd be interesting. You get her to come over here. I want to be on that panel.
Yeah. Definitely. We'll get Dre over here as well.
Yeah. So this is your first test run?
It's like the third or fourth one.
Okay. Cool.
Do it this way.
Yeah, we almost had 1,000 views the other day. Who created hip hop? Who created hip hop? Malik, foundational Black Americans or the Puerto Ricans? How you feel?
Hip hop is
being from New York and all.
You don't gotta lead me to where you want me to answer. Hip hop is a black American art form that started in New York and was influenced by in some instances Jamaicans and Puerto Ricans. But it's a black American art form, black American type of music.
Hey, yo, my phone is about to die, so I'm gonna drop, but I'm gonna come in on the laptop. All right.
Okay.
All right.
So you do agree that it is foundational?
Absolutely, it's a black art form.
Issue with the FBA, Malik. What's your issue with being FBA?
I think the movement is extremely divisive, and I question the intentions of the person who started it.
Who started?
I think Tariq Nasheed.
No, he did not.
That's not his. Well, he's the figurehead or the forefront of it.
No, he's just a part of it.
Can you tell me who coined the phrase "foundational Black Americans" and who came up with this movement?
I heard him say it wasn't him.
Dr. Claude Anderson. He the one that came up with the idea for us to delineate.
Well, I think Dr. Claude Anderson, as much as I respect his views on economics and whatnot, I think this is a divisive tactic that they've done, and it takes away from being pro-Black and Pan-African. Because I think too many times we try to have like even in this conversation we had about being pro-black, we're going with niche definitions of what pro-black looks like, and we're excluding West Africans and East Africans and Caribbean blacks.
Well, see,
I
that's
think that's the wrong thing to do.
I don't respect about you guys. Y'all not doing your due diligence because it's not on Foundation of Black Americans why there's this issue between Foundation of Black Americans and the diaspora. The issues with that, one, white society have came in and did what they do best with divide and conquer, right? With that divide and conquer, and y'all seen on our shows where those African brothers of ours come on the show, the brother James and the brother from Baltimore, that wear the hard hat. I forgot his name. Both of them being descendants from Africa, tell us that their family and what they went through when they came to the Americas were white America intensely tell them to stay away from Black Americans, that they lazy, they don't want to do nothing, they're not going to progress by dealing with blacks. And what they do is they cause division between the Foundation of Black Americans and the brothers and sisters from the diaspora. We always been, you know this from KRS-One to Public Enemy and all the other conscious groups out of New York always had us on our red, black, and green shit. Always had us in tune with Malcolm X. You guys out of New York always the one kept us conscious, right? And kept us on our red, black, and green, hold your fists up, loving our brothers and sisters from Africa. So there always was the love here. What happened was when the people from the diaspora came on us and started saying, "Oh, we're just lazy. We don't deserve reparations." Blase, blase, blase. Then that's when Black Americans was like, "Hold up, wait a minute. Look, sucker." And that's when America was like, "Okay, well, if it's screw me, it's screw you." What they all doing was been shaking the haters off. That's all. That's all.
Okay, so do you?
Malik, they've always looked up to the American culture. Now all of a sudden, because the white man tell you we bad, we the boogeyman, you gonna believe it? We all know throughout history, we've seen Africa always looking up to Black Americans, whether it's Michael Jackson, Jay-Z go to Africa, anybody. I just Rick Ross go. I just seen all kind of famous people go to Africa, and Black Africans love them, praise them. They love America. But once the white man, when they came here, tried to get in the Americas, when they started taking these classes to learn English, getting their passports and things like this, white America get in their head and they start teaching Black Africans and Black Jamaicans and Haitians to look at Black Americans as thugs, dangerous, they lazy, they don't want to do anything, drug dealers, and they paint that picture. And then that's when we start seeing our brothers and sisters from Africa, Jamaica, and Haiti start looking at us like that. It might be a little different with Haiti, though. But Haiti used to get blues in Florida.
Okay. Do you feel like this is kind of a one-sided viewpoint of what happened and what the dynamic is between Black Americans and other Black people?
Huh?
Do you feel like this could be a one-sided viewpoint of how the tension between Black Americans and West Indians and Africans came about? Or do you feel like this is a one-sided viewpoint?
No.
No.
Truth is truth, no matter what side or what view you're looking at it from. The truth is the truth, no matter who say it or who looking at it.
So
All right.
so this is a skewed viewpoint. From what I heard from Big Boy, all I heard was and yes, the white man and immigration did paint Black Americans in a negative light. But are we going to deny that there was tension when they came here? Or that Black people mistreated them in certain instances and made fun of them, and basically out of survival, the Africans and West Indians that came here were self-contained because all they knew was each other, and then Black Americans that were already here started to like make fun of them and violate them. Are we going to act like that didn't happen?
We also made fun of other foundation of Black Americans. It was called dozens.
It's not the point. The point is that when they came here, they were mistreated. They were mistreated for how they dressed. They were mistreated for how they possibly smelled, and how they spoke. It's kind of different when you grow up in it. You may get used to the dozens, but if somebody's coming here, they don't necessarily know the language that well. They dress different, and they don't have the same kind of customs. They got made fun of. So it's not just the Nigerian.
Hold on. You want us to paint a whole demographic of grown-ups a certain a certain way because of what kids do. Kids talk trash to other kids, whether you're fat, skinny, poor, ugly, wherever. That's what kids do. But you want to say, but hold on, I'm almost done. But you want to say FBA is doing something because of what kids do? No, bro.
That's kind of a straw man, don't you think? I'm not just talking about the bullying that happens in schools. I'm talking about how adults treat it. We can't pretend like Black people haven't sometimes been classist. Like there was a documentary of Black people in California talking about how they didn't want the people that were left in the country to come back over here or come to where they were because they felt like they weren't as refined and polished. It's sometimes Black people take a snobbish position, and so it's not just about the kids bullying people and saying Haitian body odor or making fun of Africans because they didn't smell good or didn't wear deodorant. It's adults also feeling like these people aren't like us. And
I can agree with what you're saying, right? But where I disagree with what you're saying, you making it a Black thing, that's an American thing. American culture is like that. We live in America where it's cruel. It's cruel. They're vicious. This country where we live, you get chewed up, spit out, and the world gonna keep spinning. I mean, don't put it just on Black Americans, Malik. That's my issue with you. That's American culture, and we could see that even like with Trump. When Trump was just saying, "Oh, they're eating dogs and cats," how they looked at us after Katrina, when American citizens now, right up out of the mornings, when they were flooded out of their homes, had nowhere to go. They're American citizens, but were called refugees. So we live in a country where it's not a Black thing, Malik. It's just a thing that's a part of this culture. So what I don't agree with is you putting the blame on Blacks doing that. That's just what you're talking about happened because, yes, they did get teased. Africans be funky. Africans have a different odor on them. I remember all of that. I have to be honest. Yes, right? But with that being said, it wasn't just a Black thing. That's an American thing.
I'm not negating that Americans as a whole mistreat other ethnicities and cultures poorly. I'm talking about what Black people have done to other Black people because they felt like they were different from them. That's what I'm talking about. And so it's not just Africans mistreating black people or Caribbeans mistreating black people. It's black people doing it, black Americans doing it to other black people.
But what I'm trying to get you to say, I'm not arguing that, Malik. What I'm telling you is that's just culture. I mean, it's done with white people. You always heard black people say white people smell like dogs. You hear white people say we look like monkeys. We all look the same. It's a culture thing. Same with Mexicans. Oh, those wetbacks or saying N-words, saying niggers. So it's a thing that just happened with people, period.
Okay. I'm not negating any of that. I'm just talking about, because you started, the way you painted it was that Africans came here. Before they got here, they were told to stay away from black Americans, right? That they're lazy. And so they had a skewed view of black people, and black people had a skewed view of them. That's all I'm trying to say. It's not just one-sided. Like I think your perspective was one-sided about it. Well, and so I started to talk about how we treated them. Listen, I can point out when you see it all through Twitter. You see Nigerians talking shit about black people. I admit that, but we've done it to them historically also, and we do it to them now. And the FBA definitely does it to them now, because I've seen Tariq Nasheed and listen to Tariq Nasheed totally undress somebody for being African, totally undress them and disrespect them, and then use all kinds of foul stereotypes towards them. So it's not. This is the sentiment that I don't even want to mention the guy's name, but you know the guy I'm thinking about that y'all rock with, that had some foul views about people that aren't FBA. Has some foul views, said it all through stereo. So that's the sentiment that we see, not just from him, but from that's like the culture that goes on with the FBA people that are actually like.
I agree with you, man. Because
that's lies, man. I'm FBA and I don't do that, man.
Yeah, it's not.
But you know who I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about on stereo, who has that sentiment. Is he
the leader of the FBA? Is he the leader?
Well, I just said Tariq Nasheed does it all the time on Twitter.
Is Tariq the leader? Is Tariq the leader?
I would say yes. He's at the forefront of it. Yeah.
No, he ain't. No. You trying to hold on. You trying to get my brother Tariq? You trying to get him indicted or get him harassed or arrested by the boys? Stop calling. Don't call that man the leader. And don't ignite the flames like he's some leader. You see what's happening to Puff Daddy and maybe Jay-Z right now. Don't get him caught up on that. This is how you gonna be the leader of a bloodline? How you gonna be a leader of a lineage, Malik?
Are there leaders of the Crips and Bloods? They're all black, right?
Malik, hold up, Malik. That's where you're making a mistake. Why are you considering black Americans like a Crip or blood, brother?
No, I'm just using an example. You say just because it's a bloodline doesn't mean that there aren't splinter groups in the bloodline. That's what I'm saying. So there's different organizations. Just because you have certain people in the organization doesn't mean you have to say, it's a leader of a bloodline. If you have a movement, there are leaders of the movement.
Hold on. You calling them an organization? Where's their headquarters, then, Malik?
I don't know. I don't have that answer.
Because it's not one, brother.
Is it a movement? Can we say it's a movement?
Title, just like, okay, you remember back when Jesse Jackson started us to referring ourselves as African American?
Are you saying it's not a movement?
It's just a title.
So FBA isn't a movement.
It's a title. It's what we want to be addressed as. Instead of being called black, instead of being called African American, we'd rather be identified as foundational Black Americans. That's all.
Is it not a movement? Does it not have an agenda? Is it not pushing for certain things? If it has a position, it's a movement. If it wants to not be called that's their platform. They don't want to be called They don't want to be called Black or African American. They want to be called Foundational Black Americans. That's their platform. That's a movement.
You gotta be careful with that because we also live in a culture where we're supposed to be able to identify ourselves with however we want to be. And ultimately, you are ultimately not listening to a narrative where they're telling you this is not a movement, right? And if you keep associating it as a movement, you are weaponizing people against us, specifically only because we would like to not be known solely as just Black Americans or African Americans or Negroes or anything else. It's really plain and simple why people want to be called foundational Black men, because at the end of the day, it defines an actual people within this country that has culture, tradition, and everything else, and it doesn't muddy the pot when it says you're Black in this country. You know what I mean? Because when you can be Black in this country, you can just be the shade of Black, right? But not actually be part of the experience of being Black. And that is what I think you're speaking to with the African immigrants that come over here who were assimilated into American culture, which is the belief of hating foundational Black men and talking poorly about them, which is the reason why you hear those narratives when they go home, don't hang out with Black men and so on and so forth. They're lazy. That's a white trope, which means that those people were ultimately assimilated into this American culture pretty systemically. Like you can see it. They're indoctrinated, and they're also indoctrinated to help hate themselves at the same time, because if you're taught to hate yourself by a government and you come perpetuate those narratives in the same Black neighborhood, you know what I mean? Those are type of things that create these, you know what I mean? Divisions.
So how do you want your position to be taken seriously, your platform to be taken seriously, if you're saying, "Oh, we're not a movement"? How are you going to push this to be recognized and codified? If you're saying if you're basically fearing to be seen as legitimate and something that should be taken seriously. I mean, you don't want to be called a movement because you're afraid of what? You're afraid of assassination or white men to come get you. I mean, then how are you going to have this be? How are you going to have this be pushed? How are you going to have this be accepted?
It doesn't. I was going to say, when I say I'm a foundational Black man and I say it to you, it should just be accepted the same way somebody gave you their name. Does that make sense?
Okay, and with this new identity, what do you want to see happen?
It's not new, actually. It's pretty foundational.
No. This new, the way you want to be coined and identified, this new identity that you want to put on yourselves. How do you want this to be? How do you want this to be accepted? And how do you want this to be? I'll just start with it. I'll just stick with accepted. How do you want this to be recognized?
Well, for one, if you do recognize yourself as a foundational Black man, it does give you, our country, the actual numbers of the amount of people affected by the transatlantic slave, and that the transatlantic slave, the amount of people who came over here who identify as foundational Black people, and also it might actually help with reparations.
Exactly.
No. I'm saying that these are cause and effects. These aren't necessarily things that are literally agendas. You know what I mean? It's the same reason why we don't call Indians in America Indians anymore. We call them Native Americans, correct? Or indigenous. So why are they allowed these type of things, right? Why are they allowed to be called indigenous folks and indigenous people, and we can't be called foundational Black people without an argument or an agenda?
I could agree with all of that, but why am I hearing right now that there is no platform, there is no agenda, there is no movement? If the goal is why am I hearing that? And I'm just hearing from you that the agenda is to be recognized as such, as foundational Black Americans, and then
I didn't give you an agenda. I said
no, because you just said to be recognized as foundational Black Americans, and to push for reparations. That's an agenda right there. Agenda isn't a bad word. Agenda isn't a bad word.
It is a bad word when it comes
No,
through.
it's not a bad word necessarily. It's not a bad word necessarily. So if you have a platform and you're pushing this movement, and it is a movement. If you're pushing for this because you want to pick up the torch that the ADOS has, and you're pushing for reparations and to be recognized as and delineate. If you just want to just be delineated from other Black people, that's your agenda. That's what your platform is about. That's what your movement is about. Why am I hearing people say on here that they don't want to be considered a movement? If you have a mission.
So just to clarify, agendas come with a negative connotation. They absolutely do. So to say that if I have an agenda, for one, means I have an ulterior motive. And I think that's the reason why I reject anybody saying that there's an alternate agenda, right? The same agenda would have been the same agenda I would have had as a Black man. Why would they change, Malik? You know what I mean? They don't change. Nothing's changed. It's the same thing I've been spouting as a Black man. The same thing I'm pretty sure Big Boy and POW been saying as before they identified as foundational Black men, just as Black men, they were saying the same things. So why does the have to come with a ticket of agenda?
So no, it doesn't, because again, agenda may nowadays may seem like have negative connotations, but strictly the definition is a list or outline of things to be considered.
I just would like to be identified.
It doesn't necessarily mean something nefarious.
Gentlemen.
If you have an agenda, there's a Black agenda. It doesn't. Hold on. I mean, there's a Black agenda. It doesn't necessarily mean it's something insidious. I mean, words don't have necessarily. I mean, nowadays we use agenda as something bad, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that.
Hey, Malik, just relax 1 second. We got audience, Jerry Winfield. What's up, Jerry? The question is, I am new to Foundation of Black Americans. What does it consist of? How does it differ from the traditional terms to identify Black Americans? Okay, this is what happens is, with identifying as a foundation, and we want to get each one of us to give our perspective of your question. So, Foundation of Black America, all it consists of is a group of people who choose to identify as a Foundation of Black American, which means you come from the lineage of an ancestor who were once slaves or indigenous to this land. Just that simple. Now, with being FBA, the government promised at the end of slavery that they were going to give 40 acres and a mule to our ancestors, and then they took that back. So that's considered a debt that's owed to foundational Black Americans who participated in the transatlantic slave here in the United States, because they were slaves that worked and built the economy of this country and never got paid anything. So basically, people who are foundational Black Americans are coming together, raising their voice, advocating to be reparated for what our ancestors were owed. That's basically what FBA consists of, from my knowledge. How does it differ from the traditional identifying as a Black American? Well, basically, identifying as a foundational Black American, where when you identify today as a Black American, you identify as an African American. When Jesse Jackson brought that to the table, and identifying as an African takes you out of the realm of being indigenous to this land, as far as being indigenous, being an actual American citizen. So I think from what I've heard, and I don't have much knowledge based on it, they say when you identify as an African American, um, that take you away from a lot of rights you have as an indigenous person on this land. By being able to identify as a foundational Black American, uh, it's you're taking African out and you're only identifying as an American, which will make it easier for you to be uh, considered, I guess, according to the Constitution or something. One of you brothers could further and go with it to give a clearer understanding. But Jerry, that's the understanding that I have. I wish we could get her up on the panel, POW. Oh, he's not even up here. Malik, what do you identify as?
I use Black and African American interchangeably.
Okay.
So
Go ahead.
do we or do we not agree that this FBA thing is a movement if it has certain goals that it's trying to accomplish? Do we agree with that?
I mean, a movement will be a place like
Yeah. Why you
Yeah. So
why you want to
was that?
label it something? Why you want to label it so bad?
Why was that like pulling teeth just now to say that you have a movement if you're trying to push for certain things?
Because narrative is the most important thing, and having your home is probably equally as important when you decide to identify as a foundational Black man. And I think that's ultimately important because you don't have to have an agenda to know who you want to be identified as. I don't think that movements are meant to be like I don't want a movement. If this is a movement, I don't want to be part of it. That's the case. That means that this is something someone's trying to sell me something at the end of the day.
What's the definition of movement?
Well, a movement is something that ultimately is like a propagandized, marketed for you to be able to join, and I'm not doing that.
Don't you feel like you're kind of putting negative connotations on words that don't necessarily have to be that? Like agenda, for instance, you're making agenda be a naughty word or something, or movement be a naughty word. If you have a goals and you have like-minded people with you, then you have a movement. I don't understand.
Okay. I sort of agree with you and all those things, but even with all of us on this panel, we all have some form of opinion of what it is to be Black, what it is to be Black in America, and what all of the labels that as Black Americans we've already been given without giving our birthrights while being in America. So, for example, if being a Negro wasn't good enough to have our natural rights in America, cool. We moved from Negro to Black to African American, back to Black. What else did we come from? What else we have? Is that it? And then, obviously we adopted, the N-word and turned it into a cultural whatever. But at the end of the day, we lost kind of our identity in this country when we have a lot of the immigration within this country of people who look just like us. And they don't know how to identify themselves when they come over here because the census doesn't even allow even Black Latin people to come over here to say that they're Black and or Latin at the same time. Same thing with Native Americans. They now have their rights as indigenous people of this country, right? Instead of being called Indians, which was a racist term they should have never been identified with in the first place. So it is about owning your identity at the end of the day. And that should be the agenda. If we're going to talk about the agenda, that should be the initial agenda. And the initial agenda should be that. If that's the movement, maybe that's a wiser narrative that I'll stand behind. But as far as everything that could come from it, as far as like politically cause and effect from being a foundational Black man and being acknowledged in the country as a foundational Black man, that would be cause and effect that ultimately maybe I'm okay with at the end of the day.
Okay, so So we were considered Americans prior to the term foundational Black Americans. So I don't necessarily believe that being called an American is going to guarantee us certain rights, because I mean we've been called African Americans and considered just Americans. I mean, if you look at what a U.S. look at the definition of what an American is, or the definition of what a U.S. citizen is, we meet all of those criteria. But that doesn't necessarily guarantee us, at least in this country, a certain amount of rights. Obviously, right? It doesn't guarantee Native Americans to be treated well, because we know their history. Well, okay, they've been considered sovereign for a long time. So I don't know if the name change is going to necessarily give you the effect that you're looking for. Now, when it comes to foundational Black Americans, that term is not the.
Breaking up a little bit. A lot of it.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you still there?
My bad.
Yeah.
My bad, Malik.
Okay.
I didn't mean to do that.
So being foundational Black Americans doesn't express or encapsulate exactly what we are, because if we want to just keep it funky and not deny things, we were taken from the majority of us from the west coast of Africa. So this could be considered just another place marker because we don't have our history. Our history we have a broken chain of history. So I don't know if this new term foundational Black American speaks to what we are. I think American descendants of slaves encapsulates what we are better, but I don't necessarily want to be called a slave, because these people weren't just slaves. But I think we get into I think we keep focusing on the names that we want, the different names that we want to be identify ourselves as. We're going to be having the same conversation for the next 10, 20, 30 years and have nothing accomplished. So why don't we just come together under the political status that we have now and push for the things that we want to see? We play these identity games. We've been playing these identity games for hundreds of years now, and it hasn't gotten us anywhere.
But continuing under what we have now, how has it been progressive for us, Malik?
As Black Americans and African Americans, we have been able to get the 13th and 14th Amendments, the Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act. We were able to end segregation. We can't act like we haven't had any strides.
Get our asses kicked. Get our asses kicked. Hold on. Yep. So since we naming shit, get our asses kicked. Be last in every important category. Still be at the bottom. Still subjected to racism in every institution in America. Yeah, man. Yeah, would be.
What I said.
And get sold dreams by a Democratic Party that don't care anything about Black people.
Okay, so what I said, the things I said doesn't negate the fact that we still have work to do. I mean, sacrifices were made. I mean, but we aren't in. I mean, there's a difference between 1865, 1965, and 2005, or 2025 now. Are there not?
Yeah, I would agree that there's a difference, but
okay.
But I will, it's not enough. I mean,
I agree. How
long we gonna be okay with being bird fed?
I agree.
When we got brothers, when have we really full scale implemented what, like Dr. Clark Anderson has introduced to us, Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, any of these brothers? When have we full set on, pin our ears back and say, this is what we're going to dive into? We've always took the Democratic road to this bird-fed progression. Would you agree?
Frederick Douglass was a Republican.
Listen, would you agree with what I'm saying, brother?
Are you repeat it? I'm gonna answer it directly.
know the Democratic Party has controlled everything that will be considered progression for blacks. Would you agree?
No, because once again, Frederick Douglass was a Republican. I can't act like the Republicans didn't do.
But
The Republicans were formed
hold on,
basically to end slavery.
Malik, let's not play games because you know the people who are were Republicans then will be considered the Democrats today. Am I correct?
Sure.
Okay. With that being said, we talking about the same people.
Not quite, because we can't negate the fact that there was a switch in parties and agendas. But if you're saying that if you agree that black people wanted more than not are on like vote Democrat and push for Democrat issues, I don't disagree with that. And I didn't disagree that more work needs to be done.
Yeah, you didn't. I didn't say that you did, but what I'm saying is, would you agree that you think we've been bird fed and continue to be bird
Yes.
fed?
Yes.
25, nowhere in the world we should still be fighting against systematic racism in a progressive country like America.
Agreed.
Okay, so with that being said, we have people that have given us a blueprint that when I look at this blueprint, it's phenomenal. When I listen to the ballot speech by Malcolm X, when I read about Garvey, things he wants to implement, when I read about Dr. Claude Anderson, things that he's saying that we should implement, it's phenomenal at what we could do for just ourselves, among ourselves, or rather us say, hey, we're going to come together and implement this blueprint to bring this progression on that our ancestors thought for us. What we'll rather do is be content and to continue to be dependent on a government that's going to always have the best interest for white privilege and white supremacy. Because the fabric of this government and the fabric of everything that was built, it was intended for one group of people, and you know who those people are. Those people will be white America. Even to the point where they listen, man. They came to the round table and say, listen, okay, I know we can't stand Jewish, and I know we can't stand you Italian, linguine eating mother suckers and all different things. But listen, what we gotta do is strategize, and what we're gonna do is come together. And by all of us being white, we're gonna identify white and create this super power dynamic, this whiteness that's gonna push us above everyone else. And that's going to be a privilege for us that we're going to be able to pass down from generation to generation. And what they did was, whether you was an Irish that came over here, poor broken with nothing, or Italian that came over here, poor broke with nothing, all of these, because we all could admit that whites, when they came, was poor, broke criminals that got threw out of their countries they came from and had no place to come but here, but had the ability to come here, become a part of a society of their peers, to have this privilege and this power to create what we see now as America, right? And here we got ancestors that say, hey, black people, we need to do the same. And then everybody getting on board, waking up saying, you know what, man, this is what it's about. It's survival of the fittest. We're not going to see lions hanging out with tigers. We're not going to see falcons hanging out with eagles. We're not going to see these things. So what we're going to do is we're going to do what everybody else done. So now we see the Latinos come over here, the Asians come over here, we see the Arabs come over here, and they do exactly what we should be doing in our communities. When our sisters and our women go get their nails and their feet done, they going in a store that's employed by all Asian people because they get the concept. When we go to the corner store in our communities for convenience, we go into the Arab store that's going to have Arab employees. When we go to these motels, we're going to see Indian owners, and everybody is looking out for their own. But guess what the little Negro piglets want to do? We want to shuck and jive and tap dance for master and jump through loops and think that he's one day going to finally bird feed us to the point where we're going to be side by side, equal, holding hands, skipping into sunset, and be seen as equal. And it'll never happen. I mean, Malcolm X told us what he said. Who taught you to hate yourself? To think that these people are going to do that for you. He said that. Who taught you to hate yourself? To think that these people are going to do anything for you, for a Democratic Party. We heard the speech. So, nah, man.
So if that's a sediment, then why are we, what?
I hear what you're saying.
Okay.
And I get what you're saying, but I think what you're saying is not enough, Malik. I don't think it's enough to get us to that point where to get us over to here where we can start feeling comfortable with our future generation, where our grandkids, our great grandkids, and the future people that look like us will be able to have a foundation that's so strong that we could create a privilege amongst our own, where we could say, hey man, our people, we're going to be all right because we're going to be able to take care of our elderly and our young and not have to depend on our people. In small, this is the last thing I'm going to say, the little bit we was able to do together, look how powerful it was. The government came and stole that from us. When we look at the Black Panther Party, when they had these free medical programs and this free food program where they fed the babies, the government came and snatched it from the Black Panther Party. And to this day, the government take credit of giving kids free lunch at school when the Black Panther Party started that. These free clinics that we see all through our Black communities, the Black Panther Party was providing for that. So don't tell me what we can't do if we don't follow the blueprint that our forefathers left up for us. But we want to rely on master. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, you got it, Malik.
So I grant you all of that. So I just don't know with the history. You also spoke to how we've been bird fed. You spoke to how we've been, we tried to, do it the right way and all of these other things. Mm-hmm. So I don't necessarily agree that being considered foundational Black Americans is going to change that.
Well,
if you're lamenting the fact that we've been bird fed and that we've been shortchanged for what we to what we should have, then I just don't see using your talking points. I don't see a reason to even continue on trying to play this game.
When you say play this game, what game you saying?
The political game of trying to be seen as, try to be seen as people with full rights and dignities and protections under the law. Because and again, foundational Black Americans, I don't think being us switching the name is going to change how people feel about us. It didn't help us when we were called Negro. It didn't help us when we were called colored. It didn't help us when we were started to call ourselves Afro Americans. It didn't help us being called African Americans. I think you'll admit,
okay.
Right?
Hold on.
Right?
No, hold on. I got you. So
I'm getting shut off.
Yeah. So that don't make no sense. The reason why we are delineating is so we can't. That's the first step in the right direction, and we already seen good results from that. This year in the election, they had to start talking about foundational Black Americans and start talking about Black men and foundational Black Americans' presence was definitely felt in this election, and that's because we delineating. And the reason we delineating is specifically a big reason is the Democrats, because they like to do stuff like, oh yeah, we're going to give these resources to the minority community. Right now, I'm quoting with both fingers, the minority community, or people of color, or the underprivileged communities. All of these are code word for we not gonna do nothing specifically for black people. We gonna spread your resources out to everybody. So by the time the pizza box get to you, all you got is some crust and a half a slice of pizza. So that's why we delineating. And you was talking about African descents of slavery sound better. That lets me know you haven't done your homework, Malik. African descent of slavery, that could be anybody. That could be somebody of Haitian descent, somebody whose family was enslaved from African descent, right? You could cosplay African descent of slavery to a different lineage. But foundational Black American, you can't cosplay that. You can't leash that. You can't attach yourself to that. That's just what it is. Foundational Black American. Nobody can cosplay that from a different lineage of the African diaspora. So I just, that lets me know you haven't did your homework, Malik. I'm unmuting both of y'all. That lets me know you haven't did your homework.
You're right, POW. So I didn't see Democrats or politicians start using the term FBA. I don't think I've seen that in the majority of them. They talked about black men or African American men, but they're not using that term. So yeah, black men their vote was seen as something pivotal to the Democrats. I'll grant you all of that, but they're not using that term, foundational Black American. And I never said ADOS it sounds better. I said it encapsulates what we are more, but I don't want to be called a slave, because we were more than just being slaves, is what I said. And I was speaking directly to what Big Boy was talking about, how we've been shortchanged and bird fed. Okay, so I don't see how the name change is going to stop that. That's what I was talking about.
Foundational. That means from the beginning. That means we was part of the inception, the biggest part of the inception of America. Foundation. Rather slavery or you are a black person who your ancestors got some Indian or indigenous lineage. That's foundational either way it go.
Once again, I don't think the name change is going to guarantee us a new status and new freedoms and protections under the law. That's what I keep saying. If the name change isn't going to do anything. I believe being called Negro didn't change it. Being called color didn't change it. Being called Afro-American didn't change it. Being called African American or Black didn't change it. So I don't.
You like continue making that narrative. There's a very difference is that all while those names were us throughout the history, most of those names were not chosen. We didn't get to choose those names. We were either identified by the government as that, or we were identified through cultural norms at the time by whatever it was. So I think it's okay to 2025 for sound, smart Black men to be able to identify themselves. And also,
that's not what I'm saying.
But you are saying it because you're saying it didn't help when this happened. It didn't help when that happened. It didn't help when that happened.
I'm not saying we can't. I'm not saying we can't.
In our history, we've been able to identify ourselves, right, in this space that is this country, intellectually be able to say this is how we are and this is what we are. We're either this or that, right? And you could be either this or that. But hey, we're foundational Black men. Here's the lineages of proof. I got you know what I mean? I got history of people who were raised in this country from said time. But obviously, I'm linked to slavery in this country. There's plenty of people in Georgia. There's plenty of people in the South. There's plenty of people in this country right now walking around that could easily say, I'm a foundational Black man and actually have no issue saying it. And it shouldn't have to be anything that have to do with identifying or agenda behind it, or even just saying it's something political. I think it's okay to say, hey, being Black is really just a color in this country at the end of the day. And that's, but if you want to see who I am, maybe I'm a foundational Black man with family. My last name is this, so on and so forth. Those type of things kind of link you to being a foundational black man, in my personal opinion. I mean, it's really kind of doesn't have to be opinion. It's really kind of facts.
You once again, you said that we didn't choose. We chose African American for ourselves. We chose that.
What part of Africa are you from?
That's not the point. That's not you're distracting me. That's not the point. That's not the point. The point is that we chose African American for ourselves. And I once again, I don't believe that the name change is going to guarantee us certain freedoms. Even if we say this is something that we came up with. I mean, it wasn't just Jesse Jackson it was other people that were there that came together in think tanks and said we should going forward we should go with this because we can't necessarily narrate or pinpoint what African countries we were taken from. We were taken from the majority of West Coast of Africa, so we could say we were taken from Africa and also we're American, without trying to negate the fact that we have a history outside of America. But the point is that the name change is not going to guarantee us a new freedom and a clean slate. If it gets put on the census today, foundational black Americans, it's not going to guarantee that the police are going to treat us differently. It's not going to guarantee that we're going to get more freedoms and resources to our communities. That's all I'm saying.
I think it would actually.
Okay. Well, wait and see, I guess.
And I don't really believe that. Do you think the NAACP has done a great job lobbying for our freedom in this country?
That's not I don't know how that's.
That's our only lobby for foundational black Americans at the end of the day. Right now. Is it
so not the Congressional Black Caucus?
You tell me. I'll pick up.
You funny. You funny. Hold on. You funny. I was waiting for you to say the Congressional Black Caucus. I was waiting for you to say that. Those people, all skin folk and kinfolk, those so-called black people shot down the reparations bill. Those black people a couple months ago. It wasn't a white person that shot down that reparations bill. It was them black people from the Black Caucus that's supposed to be appointed there to be our representation, to be our voice. So the fact that you said the Black Caucus, I was waiting. I'm like, he about to say the Black Caucus. Watch, and them Sambos argue against our best interests. I want to hear what he got to say about that.
So POW, is that the only thing I said?
No, you spoke on behalf of the Black Caucus, and I'm addressing you for that. They shot down the reparations bill. Keep that same energy. Keep the same energy.
And I had a problem with that, but I think you're okay. So what about what I said about the name change isn't going to guarantee us certain freedoms and a new status and respect in this country?
All right, I'll move on to that as long as we can both agree that your point about the Black Caucus was ridiculous and useless.
No, it's not ridiculous because Brother Alex said that the NAACP is the only lobby we had. That's not necessarily true. Even though we can have a critique I can have a critique of the NAACP and the Congressional Black Caucus. It doesn't mean that they aren't doing anything or they aren't lobbying at all.
They trash, bro, and you know they ain't doing nothing.
That's not the point.
You know.
When was the last time you donated any money to either one of those organizations?
I used to run with I wasn't a member, but I used to volunteer to do some of the things like back when Don Imus was calling the Rutgers basketball player nappy-headed hoes. I started to do things with the NAACP and do workshops and stuff like that. So I'm not doing anything now with them, but I don't know what your point is.
Well, my point is that they're not very active. Brother. That's all I'm saying. They're not active.
Yeah.
And then
I can agree.
when it comes to their activity, it's usually some white people asking them to not support something that they do give them money at the end of the day. And that's how they go about getting their money. A lot of times it doesn't always they don't really be rocking for us, man. They might throw outdoor party or something like that, throw a cookout and say that it's for the black folks, all while they are, you know what I mean? Like I don't know, man.
I think they've also provided lawyers for people as well. But yeah, they're not. I mean,
high profile cases, yeah, sure. That's about
okay,
it.
yeah, they provided lawyers also.
Yeah, but they haven't passed any bills. But they haven't pushed to pass any bills, so they wouldn't have to pay for them little anecdotal court instances.
I don't have a problem with critiquing the NAACP.
Yeah, I think they also have to be innocent too, like because otherwise they still get a bill, don't they?
I don't know if that's accurate.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say it's once you win there, you gotta have a lawyer all the way through and through, unless you plan on appealing it. But I also don't see a lot of those on our end either. So that's another story for another day.
I think Ben Crumpler does things with the NAACP. And Ben Crumpler is now like the designated lawyer for police terrorism nowadays.
Ben Crump, his name is Ben Crump, aka Ambulance Chaser.
That's not fair. Not fair.
That's Big Boy too.
That's not fair.
Not fair.
But Big Boy, you had to renege on Big Crump a couple months ago.
I mean, listen, I was disappointed. Huh? I was disappointed, but he's still a good brother. That you know.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
You must stay on cold.
I don't know, man.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna start getting ready for bed. But thanks for the invite. I appreciate it.
All right, Malik.
All right, man. Appreciate that. Be smooth.
All right, peace.
This game is cheating.
Well, go slide through the stereo streets and see what it's looking like.
Yeah, man. I'm about to shoot the bed, man.
Yeah, I'm probably
have a good one, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna kick it with my wife for a little bit. You might see me on stereo later on tonight.
All right, y'all. Be cool.
All right, brother. Take it easy.
Shout out to the 9 listeners, man. Peace.
I'm a man who believed that I died 20 years ago. And I live like a man who is dead already. I have no fear whatsoever of anybody or anything.
Buried me in the ocean with my ancestors that jumped from the ships, because they knew death was better than bondage.
Brought to you by Death Before Bondage.
I might be anywhere, but when I leave, you remember I said with the last words on my lips that I am a revolutionary. The revolution will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised. The revolution will be no rerun, brothers. The revolution will be live.